please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. You're still tuned into Power Breakfast on CNBC TV18. Well, the E&Y Entrepreneur of the Year Awards were held in Mumbai to honor the outstanding achievements of entrepreneurial achievements of leaders across sectors. A 9-member jury led by Dilip Sanghvi, the Managing Director of Sun Pharmaceuticals Industry, selected the winners, and Bajaj Finserv Sanjeev Bajaj was named as the entrepreneur for 2017. The award was conferred upon him for solutions in leading life and general insurance and wealth advisory. Sanjeev Bajaj will now represent India at the E&Y World Entrepreneur of the Year Award, which will be held in Monte Carlo later on in the year.
And E. Sridharan, who spearheaded the metro projects, was conferred with the Lifetime Achievement Award for his contribution in planning and execution of the Kolkata, Delhi, Kochi and Lucknow projects. Others who received awards included SpiceJet Chairman Singh for business transformation. Dalmia Bharat Group's Puneet Dalmia was recognized in the manufacturing category. Edelweiss Group's Rashesh was honored for his work in financial services.
Sundar Jenumal, the MD Page Industries, was awarded in consumer products and retail. Glenn Saldana, Chairman and MD of Glenmark Pharmaceuticals for life sciences and healthcare. Akhil Gupta, Executive Chairman, Bharti Infratel, was named entrepreneurial CEO, and Sumant Sinha of Renew Power Ventures was honored in energy infrastructure segments.
Well, from the sidelines of those awards, E&Y Entrepreneur of the Year Awards, Priya Seth caught up with Dilip Sanghvi of Sun Pharma and began by asking him his outlook on pharma industry and rising pricing pressure. Let's listen in.
Pricing pressure continues to be there in the market, and we expect this to continue to what you call stay for some more time.
So when do you think this would possibly, when would we be out of this kind of pricing pressure? When do you think the market will stabilize going forward?
No, my view is that pricing is always product specific, and depending on when you reach an equilibrium on price, prices will stabilize. We are seeing that some product prices are gradually going up also.
What would you say would be the 3 major challenges that the industry is facing at this point in time as we look ahead in 2018?
No, industry has a challenge in terms of pricing, in terms of increasing competition and potentially depleting patent expiry pipeline.
Okay, well, interesting comments coming in on price pressure there from Mr. Sanghvi. But Ritu Singh also caught up with Ajay Singh, the CMD of SpiceJet, and began by asking him about the road ahead for the airline and the industry as a whole. Let's listen in.
Well, it's been sustainable so far. For the last 33 months in a row, the load factor has been in excess of 90%. In most months, it's actually been in excess of 92%. So the inherent demand is really strong, and we believe that if the economy continues to grow at 7-8%, air traffic will grow, and we expect to sustain these loads for the foreseeable future.
By how much do you expect the air traffic to really grow from here?
You know, that's a function also of infrastructure and the availability of airports. Yeah. The inherent demand is there, and if infrastructure was to be properly provided, growth between 15% to 20% is likely to happen for several years, especially, you know, with new schemes like the regional connectivity scheme. You have many more people and many more airports coming into this whole aviation net. So I believe that with just 3% of Indians traveling, with a population of 1.3 billion, there is huge potential, and growth will continue.
What about your input costs, you know, with crude oil prices rising? Have margins somewhat taken a hit? Do you see some impact on that?
Well, so far we've been able to pass on the effect of crude oil prices. As you've seen in our last quarter, margins have actually increased. Hopefully, oil prices are moderating now. And in addition to which, you know, there are several other factors. Airlines like SpiceJet are going to get new planes which start delivering in August. Those planes are more fuel efficient. It's different technology. The planes are more fuel efficient. So that should take off some of the edge. Hopefully government can include aviation turbine fuel under GST and give us input credit, because that's what happens around the world, and we have pushed and lobbied the government for that, and hopefully that can happen. And of course, with the new planes, there will be longer haul flights, and which means that there will be more international flights, and on those flights, the impact of taxation is less. So we hope that we can ride out this current increase in oil prices.
All right, then, sticking with the aviation space, Jet Airways was in focus on the back of a rather weak set of numbers coming in. The third quarter, the stock slumped in yesterday's trading session. But Sonal is with us early this morning to take us through the highlights from the company's conference call. Hi, Sonal. Good morning.
Good morning, Nigel. Well, the conference call takeaways were quite mixed. On some of the parameters, the management was quite positive, and that is the cost reduction. They expect to reduce the cost by 12 to 15% going forth, and they are on their guidance to reduce cost from FY19. In terms of yields are under pressure, and though they have been able to witness a passenger growth of 17%, which is the highest in a lot of quarters, they still think that the yields will be under pressure going forth. In terms of international markets, the Gulf market that was always under pressure, they have seen some sort of recovery in that market, but still going forward, they do not expect it to recover it at a large scale. In terms of domestic business, the revenue was at 14.5%. Even the passenger load factors, that is the capacity, that was up 4.8%. Even in the international business, we saw a PLF increasing by 3.2%. So that is quite positive. And also, they will be adding more capacities because they'll be getting more aircraft in Q4. Overall, the gross debt currently stands at 8,430 crores, and they expect it to get decreased going forth. Back to you.
Well, Paytm's Vijay Shekhar Sharma hits out at Indian retail payment regulator NPCI for giving special preferences to some Western companies like WhatsApp as well as Facebook. Let's listen into that conversation with Shireen Ban.
How are we as Indians letting some third world country, third party companies that are coming from all the way from the West to get a special favor from NPCI? I think this conversation is not about what WhatsApp is doing, but it is about what WhatsApp can get away with. Why are we letting this happen? Whatever the neutrality is and whatever the rule of the games are defined by UPI, whether it includes wallet today or whether it includes wallet tomorrow, the point is, if today's rules are ABC, they are not being followed as ABC to company A and company B. The question is that how are we as countrymen are letting this happen to another company which is totally known to be one of the most evil companies in the world? I'm surprised. I mean, it is not a question of whether...
You're calling Facebook and WhatsApp an evil company? You're calling Facebook and WhatsApp an evil company, Vijay Shekhar Sharma?
I am not calling them evil company. I'm calling them the most evil company. The Facebook is one of the most evil companies in the world right now. I do not know one geography that admires them as a great company. Their intentions, their actions, their attempts everywhere in the world, unanimously everywhere in the world, has costed countries, not just elections, but also the kind of freedom that we talk about it. This is not an open platform whatsoever it is. So it is not an evil company. It is the most evil company in the world right now in tech space. We are opening our banking system to the biggest of possible fraud by giving it single factor authentication in the hands of 200 million people. I'm surprised that it is being let happen in this country. And then that system, which is a locked, closed system where customer has an obligation to sign up first. Only then they can do something. And a customer can only send money to their own ecosystem, not even an outsider. There is no way you can do money transfer to a bank account beyond WhatsApp account.
Well, Manisha Gupta is now with us to tell us what she's tracking in the commodity and currency space this morning. Manisha, hi, over to you.
Hi, thanks so much for that. Well, there's plenty happened over the overnight markets there, and the major of gains continue to be in the metal space, where you have seen zinc prices trading at the highest since 2007. So it's a decade high for that one. Nickel is trading at the highest in 3 years. The markets are anticipating that the steel demand will oversee the supplies that we are seeing in the global markets, and that has been supportive. Copper also is headed for a biggest weekly gain since the month of November. It's up by nearly 7% in this week. The support clearly is coming in from the U.S. strong inflation. Markets are looking at weak U.S. dollar, and that has been supportive. You also have seen strength come in for the precious metal prices, where gold and silver both are trading at their multi-week highs. we have seen gold prices hit that resistance at 1357 on the higher side. And you also are looking at gains continuing for the crude oil prices. So after 2 weeks of decline, there is strength back in case of crude. And also, there are statements, positive ones, coming in from Saudi Arabia, where they say that exiting the output cuts is not on an agenda, at least for 2018 as a calendar year. So that really seems to have improved the sentiment. Also, demand is quite strong because when you look at the India imported numbers, for the month of Jan, India has imported a record of 4.93 million barrels per day for that month, which is higher on a month-on-month basis, year-on-year basis as well. And the Chinese demand has been positive as well. So even as the U.S. supplies have been increasing, you are looking at that incremental demand coming in from Asia on the higher side, and that in turn has been supportive.
All right, Manisha, thanks so much for joining in and giving us those details. Well, let's hop across to Mangalam. He's joining in to tell us what's going on, Mangalam, in the derivatives market. The selling is reducing, FIs are still net sellers, and yesterday they were unwinding some of those short positions.
Absolutely, they were unwinding some of those short positions, but the most important thing is that it could probably be short calls which were unwound in the Nifty Bank, because it was the Nifty Bank weekly options expiry as well. But in index futures, yes, the selling is reducing. In fact, for the last 2 days, they have been buying 537 crore worth purchase in index futures. So the low of FI's long exposure, which was 43%, has now come to 47%, but like you said, still net sellers. Yesterday, 3,255 crores worth purchase in index options. That was unwinding of short positions in index calls. A large part of that could be attributed to the Nifty Bank and also the Nifty itself. The 10,500 calls saw some unwinding from the shorts. So next week is expiry. 10,500 call as well as the 10,500 put together have about 200 rupees of premium. So maybe 10,300 to 10,700 is the range that the options traders for expiry are playing for. 10,650 call though saw some writing for a pop of 42 rupees as well. So let's watch out whether that 10,700 mark holds or not, if at all the markets move to those levels. In terms of stocks, Gen Irrigation re-enters F&O ban, so watch out for that. And Punjab National Bank, that one consistently is seeing some short build-up. Yesterday was no different.
Okay, all right, Mangalam, thanks very much for that. On that note, we're going to wrap up this edition of Power Breakfast. Stay tuned, Bazaar Morning Call up next.